I guess we're back to our normal scheduled programming. Hi everyone, welcome back to Big Wrench Tech. Today, the 66 Mustang. The last time you seen a video on this car, my father and I started sanding on it, hoping to get it painted. Unfortunately, life happened. I was able to paint and finish the hood, so I suppose there is that. But we still need to do everything, and I mean everything, with this car. What is that noise? Ew. Be quiet. Be quiet some more. Shush. Now, how in the heck did that get there? Well, let me introduce you the only hole in the car. I've already installed patch panels, quarter panels, new floor pans. The metal's been reworked on this car to where it's pretty good. So we're going to continue on with that eventually, but not today. Today, we're just going to go and get it to the shop and finish up the fuel system. I mentioned that I need to get this car completed before February. It is the middle of April right now? Sure. And yes, there's so many other vehicles that will end up on the channel again, so on and so forth. But that is my priority. And we're not going to talk about this problem child in the corner. Why does it show up blue on the camera? Anyways, this car is actually seafoam green. The thing that also started it all, neither one is still around. Ew. Stainless steel fuel line. In you go. If anybody was to get into classic cars, Mustang is what I recommend, especially 1966. It was the most produced year, being 607,000 plus units. So when somebody says I have a quote unquote rare 66 Ford Mustang, maybe, but I highly doubt it. Not to mention there's still several, and I mean several, part suppliers for these cars. They're practically everywhere. Heck, you can even go on Rock Auto and they probably got everything for this. Not that I know of, but I'm just throwing it out there. CJ Pony Parts, National Parts Depot. The list goes on, that's for sure. But enough about that. God, I love HEIs. Huh. The radio still works. Did I mention I had this car since high school? Well, I did. There's just so much crap. More crap, more crap, 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 you get it. Upsy daisy. So obviously we straighten out where it says bin in the box, but that's still more of a suggestion piece. You know dang well we're gonna have to like bin it out some more and really true it into that. But seriously, look how solid this thing is. And it's been in my family a long time. Now obviously the exhaust is not supposed to be right there. It actually lives sideways in here. So when you get hit from the rear end, the fuel tank ruptures onto your hot exhaust and you go boom. Changing out a fuel line is a pretty simple, straightforward process in a early model Mustang such as 66. Half-inch nut there, another half-inch there. You can just loosen that up, it'll pop right out. Several little clips further down the way, yada yada yada. Undo your back one and, well, it's out. Now here's the reason why I also replaced this. Other than the fact that being the original one from 1966, you got cut splices, leaks. There's a leak right there. There's a leak here. Patched it up probably when I was 16. And so on and so forth. And seeing how we just put in a brand new stainless steel fuel tank, it's only right to chase it with stainless steel fuel line. And we don't have a fuel system problem anymore, like I've been having since, oh, I don't know, since I was 15, 16. A quick little funny story about this car. I convinced my dad to go get gas for it one day after a long day of working on it. And we drove it to the local gas station, but we did not make it. Reason being is, obviously the fuel system clogged up. He was so mad, he was like, this was your idea. Car wasn't legal at all. And a local cop pulled off to the side and said, nice car, are you okay? And Dad was like, yep, we're fine, it don't run. To say he was happy with me at that point in time, no. But hey, he's still kicking. you know, learn from your mistakes. You know, if I knew it was gonna take just as little time as it did, I would have done this like, I don't know, years and years ago. It has taken me longer to patch up that piece of crap over and over again throughout the years than it would to me just replacing the entire fuel line, which I should have done. Regardless, here we are. So now that it's all plumbed in, I put the protective cap back on it, but I did poke a hole in the middle of it just so it vents. I'm actually gonna run this air blower in the middle of that, hopefully not popping the cap back out again, to help prime up everything I got going forward, and you know, why not flush the line out? So off camera, I took the line off from the fuel pump, blew through the tank, and as you see, we got fuel up here. And if you're wondering why it's blue, that's actually 100 low lead aviation gas. I don't know how long the car is going to be sitting until, you know, I get around to it again. Hopefully not that long, but this gas seems to be stable for quite some time. Yes, I will be putting on clamps. Running off the fuel tank since 2000, oh crap. You know, I cleaned this engine bay out about, I don't know, 2 months ago. Sat the hood on and everything. This is disgusting. But I've learned if you stand a little closer to your projects, they tend to get done. Don't want to start in the interior until painted. Don't want any overspray in there. You know, it doesn't look too bad when it's all wet and descunged.
Shiny. Eye shiny.
Sounds like crap, but the radio still works. And if you're wondering why we're bouncing around from the hangar to the shop to the hangar, it's because, well, it's another day and I'm working on the brakes. Even though we just did brakes on a previous video, there's a reason, but that's going to be another video. Actually, to save time for another video, this is the quick fix. See that little blue guy down there? Is a proportioning valve lockout tool, which you do need in order to bleed the rear brakes. I didn't know that. The shuttlecock valve, or the shuttlecock valve, what are we playing, badminton? The shuttle valve inside there went in one direction as I was trying to bleed it, and once it goes that way, there was no way to reset it. I tried everything until I bought that tool. But the fuel system is finished, and that's the most important for now. Again, we do have a long way to go. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Please take care. And don't be afraid to throw a wrench at it, and we'll see you soon. Words are hard.